Batman Arkham and the Dark Knight Trilogy. You know, I was just thinking today how special it is that we got two excellent Batman trilogies roughly around the same time. The Dark Knight has had an influence on pretty much every action movie released since, and the combat gaming mechanics originated in Arkham Asylum are still being mimicked by studios to this day. Although, perhaps the most special thing that these series achieved was bringing the fundamental aspects of Batman to their respective mediums and evolving the icon. Rocksteady and Christopher Nolan's depictions of Batman are less different than you'd initially expect. No killing rule, check. I work alone, check. All the cliches. But both really hone in on Bruce Wayne the person, his fears, his flaws, and his humanity, whilst positioning Batman as a symbol. In Arkham Asylum and Batman Begins, we see how the death of his parents feeds into Bruce's fear of himself. In Arkham City and The Dark Knight, we see the effects of escalation on Gotham due to Batman's presence. In Arkham Knight, Bruce's identity is revealed, and from then on, the criminals in the game don't see Batman, they only see Bruce Wayne. Although, similar to The Dark Knight Rises, it is made clear that the symbol of Batman is eternal. It's choices like this that flesh out the psychology of the character. When Nolan took a very Richard Donner approach to the Batman mythos through following Bruce Wayne from the death of his parents all the way to his retirement, the Arkham games selected the three most defining nights throughout Batman's career to showcase the character and his world. The Arkham games focus heavily on the relationship between Batman and the Joker. I mean, it's right there in the title, Arkham, being a setting that has shared significance to both characters. The Joker reflects what Batman would look like if he crossed the fine line of sanity as well as justice that Bruce stands on the edge of. The Dark Knight Trilogy achieves a similar effect, although it uses multiple villains such as Bane, Two Face, and Scarecrow to reflect a variety of Bruce's demons. For example, Ra's al Ghul is essentially the same ideals as Batman, yet disregards his no-killing rule. Rocksteady places significant emphasis on reducing Joker from the clown prince of crime to just a sadistic thug. We see him at his most fun in Arkham Asylum, but from there on, the games do not try to glorify the Joker. In fact, his further depictions are very unflattering. The character gets sick from Titan, dies, and is heavily insinuated to be left forgotten by Gotham by the end of the games. On the other hand, the Joker in The Dark Knight is comparable to the shark in Jaws. He does a lot to get underneath Batman's skin, but the emotional core of the film is within Two Face. Both Rocksteady and Nolan draw a similar conclusion about the Joker's character. That his obsession with Batman is ultimately one-sided, and that his fundamental belief that people are just as inherently immoral as him is wrong, illustrated efficiently by Nolan in the boat scene of The Dark Knight. In both interpretations, it's made clear that to some extent, Batman has a negative effect on Bruce, and that he is addicted. I would argue that the ending of Arkham Knight is actually quite a tragic end for Bruce Wayne as a character. Whilst it is left ambiguous as to the identity of the fear gas utilizing Batman that we glimpse at the end of the game, I think it is pretty clear that it is still Bruce behind the mask. He faked his death, allowing for Batman to be reborn without the burden of Bruce Wayne as his double identity. This ending reveals that Bruce has become engulfed entirely in fear, which is displayed prominently through the new suit which entirely covers Batman's face. It is frequently argued that Bruce's choice to leave the bottom half of his mask open is a dumb decision, because criminals would just aim their guns at that area. However, it's clear that this is intentional, to project hope to the good people of Gotham, and remind them that Batman is indeed human. I mean, he can smile through the mask. By covering this up, there is no connection back to the humanity of Batman, and he is now entirely a monster engaged in a war on crime. The Dark Knight Rises, on the other hand, has a positive end for Bruce Wayne. He gets to retire, and the legacy of Batman continues through John Blake. Arkham concludes with Bruce succumbing to his addiction, yet the Dark Knight Trilogy has Bruce recover. Both, however, leave us with the assurance that the legacy of Batman will live on and endure. Rocksteady and Christopher Nolan's independent perspectives on Batman strike right at the core of the character, and it's interesting to see how two high-budget projects can leave us with contrasting yet equally valid conclusions for Bruce Wayne and his world, while staying true to the icon of Batman. So next time you sit down and play an Arkham game, or watch a Nolan Batman film, consider, for example, what the Arkham Batman would do in the chase scene of The Dark Knight, or what the Nolan Batman would do during Protocol 10. You might be surprised that the answers are more similar than you'd think. Hey guys, Merry Christmas. I think the Arkham games and the Dark Knight Trilogy are pretty much the perfect interpretation of Batman. They're also some of my favourite games and movies. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.